Okay, we're live. Welcome to the training call today for Entre Studios. We're going to be doing some sales training. I've got a couple people on the phone with me here. I've got Tim here. Say hello, Tim.
Hello, Tim. Hello.
So Tim's going to be asking some questions, keeping me straight here, and then I've got Ruben who's going to be chatting me some questions as well. So hopefully that'll be helpful for everybody that's watching. Basically, what I wanted to do was, I know some of you have had a little exposure to some training from me, or maybe you have some sales background, or maybe search engine optimization is, completely new for you. But what we're going to be going through here is basically kind of the background of who we are, what we've been working on. I want to do a quick overview of how search engine optimization works, page rank, reputation management, all that stuff. And then I want to move into kind of what we offer, and then move into pre-research of how to identify what these companies need. Then we'll move into kind of how to educate the customer, get them excited about it, and move into the close. I want to talk about account management and then how you guys are getting compensated and how to track all of that. So let's kind of dive in. I'll try to move quickly. I get talking fast, I know, so, keep up here. So let's just talk about quickly kind of, there's basically three parts of who we are, right? There's Entre Studios, who handles kind of all the web design, web development. The search engine optimization side of it, we're just forming that company now and developing out a platform to run things through it. It's going to be called Accelerate SEO, and it's spelled kind of funky. I don't know if you saw it, XLR8. So that's how it's going to be spelled. And that'll be running the SEO side of things. And then we've got Grab Mobile, who's a company we just partnered with that will handle all of our mobile website needs. This kind of came onto the scene a little bit quickly for me. I'm still kind of new to the whole mobile scene. It's only been about 3 months for me, 3 to 6 months really, that I've been dealing with mobile websites. And it's really caught, the internet by storm. I saw a bunch of statistics that really got me excited. Something like, I don't know, I just saw for the recent Olympics, over half of the internet views for the Olympics were through a mobile device. So really, over the next 3 years, everything's going to become mobile, and it really becomes a question of who's going to help people convert to that format. It's not a question of if they're going to do it. And so I think I've shown some of you guys, I was just going through these. These are some of the websites we've built and helped people go through. This is a law website. Here's another one, Low Price Law. So these are just some of the companies we've worked with. This is a storage unit facility that I'm going to go through. This is Safe Harbor House. This is a treatment center for women. They do nationwide help for women that need treatment help. I've had a lot of success with them as well, getting national viewership. And then this is Juniper Desert. This is another website here. That's a little bit of a central picture there. I have to edit that. They wanted that one.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah, sex sells, right? So,
Yep.
So those are some of the, and I can show you more of these websites that we've worked on. Really what the focus of this sales enterprise here is calling local businesses that don't have mobile websites and getting their attention with the mobile website and then moving towards selling them search engine optimization and reputation management. So let me just walk through real quickly how SEO works. And a lot of you are probably familiar with that, and I just kind of want to show you a couple things that will probably help. Search engine optimization, and I want you to keep in mind when you're listening to this presentation that in my mind, I'm really not talking to you. I'm thinking about the business owner that I'm going to be talking to. So this really isn't about your education. Like, obviously you need to be educated and know how this works, but at the end of the day, this is for the purpose of presenting it to a business owner. And so when you think about search engine optimization, I went in a previous presentation, I saw a statistic that there are 571 new websites created every minute on the internet. So that's an insane amount of websites being created. So 571 new websites every minute of every day. That's a difficult job for Google to try and figure out who is credible and who is not. And so the way they do that, and the example I use in my sales presentations is I try to mimic this to the real world. And so what I explain to them is, if you in the real world came to me and told me that you were good at something like golf, Well, that would be, I wouldn't know. If I Tim, are you good at golf?
I'm okay.
Yeah. So the question is, how would I know that that's real or not? He says I'm good. I don't know. Now, if he goes and gets an endorsement from, let's say, Tiger Woods, well, suddenly he's going to have a ton of credibility, right? I'm going to be like, okay, Tim, I trust you. You say you're good at golf. I trust you. Now, on the other side of that, you've got a good endorsement. That's one thing. But let's say you go get 100 first graders to say you're good at golf. That doesn't mean a whole lot. First graders don't have a lot of credibility. So credibility has a range, and it's the same thing on the internet. So people always wonder, I like to ask people, if you type in, carpet cleaning, and you see these websites that are coming up, the question is, how are these websites getting to the first page of Google? Here is kimdry.com, here's stanleysteamer.com. How did these websites get to the first page of Google? Well, the way they did it is they got credibility by linking themselves to other people's websites. So there's two technical terms that I break down for a customer, and this isn't loading here a lot. It usually loads and shows me. Let's see if it comes up. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let me zoom in here because sometimes this is hard to see. So like, for example, kimdry.com, right? How did they get to the first page of Google for such an amazing keyword, carpet cleaning? Well, the two indicators, and you may have heard of these, the first one is called PageRank or PR. And PageRank is a credibility score that is given to all websites on the internet. So a 10 PR is a Tiger Woods website, like Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, those are 10s. And then a brand new website is a page rank of 0, right? So you've got your 0 to 10s, so you've got your first graders to your Tiger Woods. The way that you get a higher page rank is you are linking yourselves to other people's websites. So you can see here, it's pretty insane. But is this showing up, Tim? Can you see this number I highlighted?
36,875 links.
Yeah, so kimdry.com, right? And this is somewhat accurate here, my tool here. They have linked themselves to 36,000 other websites.
That's insane.
Yeah, it is insane, right? That's exactly the word for it. It's insane. So let me give you an example of one type of backlink. It could be a 500-word article about upholstery cleaning, right? Here's one of their keywords. So they could take that keyword, write a 500-word unique article about upholstery cleaning. They could then post that to another high-ranking website, and that is one backlink. And they have done that 36,000 times. You know? So that takes time. That can take 5 to 10 to 15 years to build up that kind of link count. Now, one of the things that people get in trouble with when it comes to search engine optimization is they think that it can be about the number of backlinks you have. And I made this mistake early on. I paid somebody like $300 to give me 10,000 backlinks, thinking I was cheating the system. They call that a black hat method. And my website got de-indexed. They call it getting sandboxed, so I got taken out of the search engines. So I learned my lesson early on that you can't try to sidestep the system and go out and get 10,000 backlinks. Now, what I mean by that is if you go get 10,000 first graders to say that you're good at something, that doesn't mean a whole lot. One Tiger Woods is still more powerful than 10,000 first graders.
There used to be.
Well, yeah. whoever you want to use, celebrity-wise. So, the nice thing about this is that it's permanent work. And you'll hear me repeat that a lot. That's a real key phrase. If you're jotting down some notes, permanent work is something that I reiterate to people over and over again. Because you can compare this to the paid ad section here. So you can see up here we've got the paid ad section for, here's Utah Care, carpet cleaning, carpetcleaningutah.com. Well, these people are paying to be up here. We call that the pay-per-click area, or PPC. And people are paying between 10 cents all the way up to $10 a click to have their website up here. So I'll often point out to business owners, some of them are familiar with this, some of them aren't. If they're not familiar with it, I explain to them, well, this is one of the reasons Google's $1 billion company is the paid ad section.
Oh, yeah.
And This is something for more advanced users. We will get into pay-per-click with customers. We will help them design campaigns, but we want to have a better feel for their website and how it converts. Like Tim and I were just talking about before on the phone call, it does you no good to have 1,000 people come to the website if they don't call you or put their contact details in. And so we want to focus on really what their conversion rate is before we start doing anything with pay-per-click. Now, while I have this up, let me show you something here. So you can see where I'm at. I'm right around Pleasant Grove, Utah. I'm sure some of you have no idea where that is outside of Utah, but you can see here I put in carpet cleaning, and Google, it knows what my IP address is and it knows where I am. And so as a smart search engine, it shows me local companies on the search pages. So you can see here that what we're seeing here is the Google Places. And so this is something that usually people are not very familiar with. Even if they say they know about it, they really don't understand it. So Google Places is Google's version of Yellow Pages. So you can see here for carpetcareandrepair.com, he has a score of 30 out of 30, and he's got 20 Google reviews. So,
Yeah.
I think I've got some noise in the background. I apologize about that. It's the trash man. So, carpet care and repair. So let me show you his. Let's go to this guy's carpet care and repair. So here he is. Here's his mug. You can see his location, and you can see here pet cleaning, pet urine removal, upholstery cleaning, carpet repairs. So that's what he put in there. He put that information. But what's so powerful about Google Places is people that leave positive reviews for you. This really will. I mean, I always tell the story when I needed to find a chiropractor. This is how I picked one. Is I just searched for a local chiropractor, and the guy that had the most reviews I went with. So you can see here he's got a 3 out of 3, 3 out of 3, 3. I love Heller Carpets. Steve did a wonderful job. I mean, look at this. This is super powerful. This is enough to get me to want to call him and use his services. Because if we go back and we look at this list here, notice here Ultra Steam Cleaning System. They have 2 Google reviews. Let's check them out. So they only have 2, and he hasn't even set his up. Look, there's no pictures. See how he hasn't claimed this?
Yeah.
So this would be, and I'm going to get into this with pre-research, but let me just bring it up here. This is such an easy one to call. Like, I honestly want to call this guy right now because I want to call him and say, hey, you're hurting yourself because you don't have a lot of reviews. You haven't claimed your page here. You haven't put a nice picture here to show who you are. You haven't described your business. So you can see how easy it is to call this guy and show him that he's missing out on potential stuff. Let's see if we can find someone that's not doing anything. So here's Ideal Carpet Cleaning. They haven't even claimed it. Healthy Home Services. Ford's Cleaning. They haven't claimed anything. Now, this is another thing. I don't want to get too technical, but it's important to know. If you see here in the top left, Google Plus. Well, Google Plus, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, Google Plus is it's the Facebook version for Google. Google Plus is. So Google Plus has merged with Google Places. So this stuff usually confuses people, but the point is that these are areas that you can take advantage of. So you can then come in here and start making posts about your business, what's going on. You can use Google Plus like Facebook as a social media tool. So anyway, I don't want to get too confusing on that, but that kind of leads into what we're doing to help these businesses are 3 major things. So the first one is we offer search engine optimization. So we were talking about, these companies that have tons of backlinks. Like we were just looking at ChemDry, who has 36,000 backlinks and, have a huge PageRank score. Well, when we talk to these local businesses, most likely they will not have many backlinks. So that's one thing that we do for them is we will come in and we have a content team that will build backlinks for them. So that's one of the services that we offer them is we come in at $35 an hour. We will do backlink building for these local companies. Okay. And what it does for them, and I should have had some screenshots ready for you, but I was just looking at a guy I sold last month, and he's only been on with us for a month. and he is a tattoo artist, henna tattoo artist, and he's out of Houston, Texas. Well, he does some type of like eyebrow weaving. You know, it does. You know, they do eyebrow weaving, henna tattoos. He doesn't make a huge profit margin, and so, you know, the type of service that I offered him was smaller. He's only paying $350 a month. And this brings up an important point, which is when you're selling to these clients, right, we have to be able to understand how much their business makes. That will be kind of one of the big indicators for what you're going to price point these services at. So let's move into that. Yeah, and so Tim's asking you, do they get itemized list? I'm going to talk about that. That's the account management side of how they get their bill and what they're being billed for. They don't. One of the hard things is sometimes people get over eager and they want to see, they're like, where are these backlinks going? And sometimes it gets too technical to go into all those many details. So you don't want to get too caught up in the details of this. So, okay, so let's take a break here. So, Tim, did you have any questions here, or Ruben, before we move on here? I'm kind of all over the place.
Yeah, and so you don't want to go into the nuts and bolts of everything, but can they get at least an itemized statement of, we did this many hours on this by this person? So it's kind of like a receipt they get for their $500 or $1,000 a month.
So yeah, they're going to get a receipt, and they get assigned an account manager, and that's really one of the powerful tools. Is the account manager is the one that's going to be going over their services with them on a month-to-month basis.
Okay.
And so, and I do want to talk about kind of the contract terms, and so we'll get into that. But just to answer your question is that it's a month-to-month service, and then it's going to be billed monthly. So if they got 10 hours of search engine optimization, then that would be $350. $35 times 10 hours is $350. And this hour thing is a really powerful sales tool for me when I do it, because I never get caught as a salesman. So I never have to kind of be like, oh, well, it's $500 a month. And they're like, well, I can't afford that, So it makes it easier to not get, looking like a used car salesman. So yeah, so Ruben, you're asking about, he asked, do they get linked to relevant sites? So that's a really good question. Now, when we talk about backlinking, and depending on how savvy the business owners are, when you link yourself, you ask about relevant linking. That's one of the ways that we get better results than other companies, is the type of backlinks that we're building are to relevant sites. So you would not want to link a carpet cleaning company with a golf website, right? So we do actually focus on that. It's a good question, Ruben, is we focus on linking to relevant sites. The other type of linking that we do is to a diversified portfolio. And I'm kind of fighting myself to not get too technical here, but these type of links are to blog networks, Wikipedia pages, like education pages. We do link shares. We will do press releases. We do all sorts of type of linking that diversifies. One thing that got people in trouble was they linked themselves. Like, let's say that I created a blog, and then I could go and start linking a bunch of websites to that blog. Well, first of all, Google doesn't like, let me just kind of go to the bottom baseline of this. Google wants things to look real. They want it to look organic and natural. So that is the key with this, is that you can't really just sidestep and jump to the beginning. Like, let's say that you said, oh, cool, 36,000 backlinks. Why can't I just give you 10 grand and get 36,000 backlinks and do what they did? Well, that would not look natural. That looks like a first grader suddenly going like, hey, I want to be in the NBA. You know what I mean? You can't just jump to the front of the line. Google won't let you. They actually do it on purpose. For the first 3 months when we're doing search engine optimization, Google doesn't like people to jump really quick on the rankings. And so, you just have to know that up front. It brings up kind of the timeline here, and I'm kind of all over the place here, but the timeline with this is 3 to 6 months. So when you're talking to a potential customer, they need to understand that this is a 3 to 6 month time period. Now, we're not going to put them under contract yet. We may do that down the road. It's a month-to-month service. But this is 3 to 6 months to see the results they want to see. Now, how do you turn that into a positive? Okay, because that can sound like a negative. Well, it's a positive because it's permanent work once again. So when we are spending the next 3 to 6 months doing 20 hours a month of backlink building, we are in essence getting them referrals. The way I like to think of it is every month they go to an interview with Google. And so if I go to an interview with Google and they are not, let's say I go to an interview with Google and they don't have any, if I don't have any references, they're not going to listen to me. So every month that I go to this interview with Google and have more referrals and more references, the more credible they're going to view me. One thing that can make this difficult is that you're competing against other people. So when we talk about this time period being 3 to 6 months, that is going to be part of the problem is that they're competing against other people. So when I pulled up the carpet cleaners, I did a search for Salt Lake City carpet cleaners the other day. Well, there was over 200 businesses in the Salt Lake City area that do carpet cleaning. Well, if they're doing backlink building and they're doing things to get seen, well, that's going to make it harder for me to also rank my website, to compete against them. So anyway, so 3 to 6 months, month-to-month backlink building. We're building permanent credibility so that people get seen for that particular keyword. Now, the way that this comes in is powerful is let me show you something here. So I don't know how many of you have you used this before, Tim, this Google AdWords before?
Yes.
Okay. So if we type in, while we're talking about, I want to show you this because this is one of the ways that I get people's attention. So we're kind of moving into kind of some research that you can do to show people how they make money. So let's take a look at this. So carpet cleaning Salt Lake City, or Salt Lake carpet cleaning. You can see here local monthly searches. There's around 1,900 people looking for some type of carpet cleaning Salt Lake. And you can see the average cost per click is $12. It's pretty crazy. So
yeah, that's crazy.
It is. And, that may be worth it for some of these people. I don't know have you heard of this, Ruben? I don't know, I'm looking here. Do you know what is this making sense, this cost per click stuff? The pay per click? Okay. So this is something you can show people is let them know, hey, you have a very competitive term. They may already know this. You're looking at like $12 per click. So the good thing is this is really how I sell people. I point out to them that if I was talking to that carpet cleaning guy in Pleasant Grove, I'd say, listen, there are 1,900 people in the greater Salt Lake area that are looking for your services. These are people that are looking to give you money. So this gets their attention because all we need is a very small percentage of this for them to make their money back. So you can imagine even just if 1 or 2 new customers a month start coming to him of these 1,900, he's going to make his money back. So let me bring up something that I've been doing very effectively. I was talking to a veterinarian office, and I asked her what a new customer is worth to her. And, she says it varies. It can be anywhere from, $500 to $5,000. So if the average customer for her, let's just say it's $1,000 for a veterinarian office. Well, that is how I start pricing things out in my head, is I think to myself, okay, if there are, 1,000 people a month searching for Salt Lake City veterinarian, then if I can even get just 1 or 2 extra clients a month for her, that's a couple grand in revenue for their company. Not to mention it's repeat revenue if they need to come in again, and then they tell their friends and family so they get referral business. So it's much easier to sell them a big package. So when I know that, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm not going to sell anything less than $1,000 to her. So one of the things that people ask me a lot is, well, how do I price this? Well, a lot of the ways I price it is, 1, I look at the competition, how many people are competing, and then 2 is I look at how much a new customer is worth to these potential business owners. So for example, the henna tattoo artist, well, he makes $10 a tattoo, right? Well, that's not a whole lot of money to, have an advertising budget with. So that's why he only spent $350. Now, veterinarian office, doctor's offices, yeah, they're easily $1,000 plus. $1,000 to $3,000 for these types of things. So, okay, so that's carpet cleaning. So let me move into. I've already been touching on them, but I want to reiterate them. There's 3 things that I want to focus on offering. We can offer other things down the road, but these are going to be the 3 core products that you can offer. So the first one is search engine optimization, like we've been talking about, and that's for local keywords. So carpet cleaning, Salt Lake, pet urine carpet cleaning, carpet upholstery cleaning, Salt Lake City. You can see the keyword suggestions down here. This is another powerful way to do it. Look at carpet cleaning, Salt Lake City, Salt Lake City carpet cleaning, organic carpet cleaning, carpet cleaners, Salt Lake City. So all of these are keywords that can be targeted for these companies. Okay, so that's the local keyword targeting. We do that at $35 an hour. The way that we track this is we send them a rank checking report, and I can send some screenshots off. I don't have those up right now, but what we're doing is the beginning of the beginning of our campaign with them. We will show them that, hey, you are number 100 for Salt Lake City carpet cleaning. Okay, and then at the end of each month, we will show them a progression. So this is really powerful because you want to earn their trust. And so this is what I do with them in the sales calls. I explain to them, listen, I don't, this is a month-to-month service, because they go, how do I know this is going to work? And do you have any guarantees? And what about money back? And you say, well, the way we approach this is we want to earn your trust, and we want to show you real results that it's working. So the way we do this is it's a month-to-month commitment, okay, month-to-month commitment, and at the end of each month, we will show you a progress report. So the progress report will show your keywords and where you were and where you are now. So the idea is if you're number 100 for Salt Lake City carpet cleaning, next month you should be number 80, and then number 50, and then number 40. And the idea is to get to the first page of Google. Okay. So we will also, if they don't have Google Analytics installed on their website, we will install Google Analytics. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Google Analytics just shows people's view count, page view count, how long they stayed on the website, where they came from. And I actually do a lot of selling with Google Analytics. Okay, so what I do is I'll talk to business owners and I'll explain to them that, listen, some of the most important things about using online advertising is you can track the results. And I really like that. And I mean, Tim, you can attest to that. Having analytical data to show these businesses helps them understand their clientele better.
Oh, yeah.
So, because what happens is we want to know what people are searching for. Maybe a lot of people are looking for organic or green style carpet cleaning, or maybe there's a ton of people looking for pet hair and pet urine types of carpet cleaning. So that helps them understand what services to offer, what advertising to do, and so we can help them generate that data. We can show them what keywords people are typing in to find them. So, all right. So that brings up another powerful selling tool is, listen, I asked them if they know about Google Analytics. I'll say, have you looked at your analytics? Okay, so I do this all the time. I talk to a business owner, well, we do some of this, and I said, well, what does your Google Analytics look like? How many people are coming to your website? How long are they staying? Pretty much everybody goes, well, I don't know. And I said, well, listen, sir, that's a lot of really valuable data. Imagine if you had been collecting that data over the last 5 years, you would know a lot more about where people are coming from, what they're looking for. This would help you better understand your customers and their needs. So I use that as a selling point as well. Now, this brings up another really powerful thing about the first page of Google, okay? And I'm just kind of hitting you with all my little sales tricks here. They need to understand something, that the first page of Google it's make or break, right? 80% of all traffic goes to the first page of Google. And so, you may have heard the joke. They say, well, where do you hide a dead body? You hide it on the second page of Google, because nobody goes there, right? No, so
that's
funny.
Good.
Okay, maybe it's too morbid. I don't know.
No, that's funny. That's really good.
So the point here is that you can even ask people, well, how often do you go to the second, third, fourth page of Google? And people pretty much never, right? So 80% of traffic goes to the first page of Google. Well, 60% of traffic goes to the first 3 listings. So there are significant gains from someone that goes from page 2 of Google to page 1, and if we can get them to the first through third spot, they're going to see a really big jump in traffic. So even when you see someone that's on the first page of Google and they're like the 7th, 8th, or 9th spot, we can still sell them a link building package to help push them up to the spots 1 through 3. Okay, so let's just take time out. Any questions here? Tim, chime in. Got a question, comment?
No, it's pretty clear to me so far.
Okay, so that's search engine optimization, right? Understanding who's trying to search for them and getting in front of those eyes. The second thing is this whole mobile website stuff. I'm using mobile websites right now as more of a way to get people's attention. So I have a list here, and I want to start going through these. Let's pull these up here. Let's look at, you want to start, Tim, you want to start with storage units or Groupon deals? What do you want me to go through first?
Groupon sounds good.
Okay, let's look at Groupon then. So here is a list of Groupon deals I just pulled this morning. So these are all the companies in Utah, Colorado, and Idaho that are running Groupon deals. So you can see here, and I haven't even looked at these, so these are fresh for me. So let's take a look at these because these are really good. Castle of Chaos. You want to look at those guys? Okay, so let's look at those guys.
Castle of Chaos.
So let's look at them. Yeah, I don't even know what that is. So
we're gonna find out.
Maybe it's a Halloween thing or something. Oh yeah.
The new Trilogy of Terror. 3 Castle of Chaos locations. Riverdale Road.
Evil.
Okay. Okay, we're all scared now. So let's look at these guys. Have you been to this place, Ruben? Is this something you've been to?
No. Oh, I'm not Ruben.
No.
He's typing.
Okay,
He
so
loved
look,
it.
So Ruben has told me that he's been here and he loved this, right? Well, let's check these guys out. Let's look at. I'm trying to think. What would these guys be called? A haunted house.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Haunted house.
Did I spell that right? Haunted house. Yeah. Okay, so let me show you this because this is bringing up an excellent point here. Ruben has been here and he had a great experience, right? Let's see if they even come up.
How can you have a great experience at a place like that?
Well, look at this. It's interesting because
if you're scared, silly, it's great, right?
well, I don't. I get a little scared at those places, to be honest. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, this is going to be really cool. Okay, Ruben, you're going to like this. So Castle of Chaos. Notice it's listed here. Look at their score. They have an 18 out of 30. That's not very good. Let's look at their reviews.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, Ruben, I'm going to have you call these guys right after and tell them this. So look at this. So Ruben's going to give these guys a call and say,
I hated it. I hated it. It was too scary. I hated it.
Yeah, no, but he liked it. So let's look at this. So Castle of Chaos, notice that they have a 18 score.
Yeah.
Good to very good. Really, that's not a very good score. Look at this. What a complete waste of time and gas. Drove out there. There were a ton of people outside waiting and confused. No signs saying they were closed or anything. Gave Castle one more shot and we shouldn't have. Lost out a lot of business.
Wow. That's yeah.
So who knows? They just weren't open. It was rained out. So a lot of these times people are just being babies, but it's still powerful and affects people. So here we go. I'm not hard to please when it comes to haunted houses. But I'm hard to scare. They got me to jump once, which was an accomplishment. Okay, loved it. 2 out of 3. I mean, look at this. This is a long review here.
Wow. It's a
so
book.
I went to the Castle of Chaos last year in 2010. It was crazy scary. It was long. It was so short, not scary at all. So interesting here that Ruben had a good experience with these guys and some people haven't. Well, it's easy to call them up and talk about reputation management and say, listen, we want to help you get your score up because unfortunately there is only one way to fix a bad review. There's only one way. You've got to go out and get like 10 good reviews. You've got to squash all the bad reviews. So we help people design reputation management packages where we will put together either a mobile website app or on their main website, a place for people to leave reviews. And you can even do things to incentivize people like, hey, we'll give you a gift card if you go and leave us a review. We want your feedback, because this can make a big difference. Let's say I want to go to if I want to go to a haunted house.
So the high standard on this is 30. Is that how it works? Like 1 out of 10 instead of 1 out of 10, it's 1 out of 30.
Yeah, so it's a score.
On a rating level, they have a rating level that's just higher. Like the best you can get is 30 rating level. Is that it?
Yeah, so it's a score out of 30, and it's based on how many reviews they have. So look here, this is Nightmare on 13th Street.
Yeah.
Okay, so notice how they have 35 reviews. They have a pretty good score, 22, You know,
Okay.
so they've
All
done
right.
really well with this. They've had people come here and leave it. You know, they still haven't set this up very good. I could still call these guys and say, hey, you don't really have a description here. You should put more scary pictures to get people excited about this. You know,
Oh, that
But-
sounds kind of scary.
yeah, but see, like, so this is powerful stuff here because see, Ruben has been to one of these places and he can now talk knowledgeably about them. So what about these guys here? What about the Smith family farm and the look at the Awakening Haunt here? Let's check these guys out. We're off on a tangent here, but I'm showing you how I would call these businesses up. So this is some redirect. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know.
The Awakening Haunt. Why didn't it pull that up? Yeah. Okay. So this is someone just gaming the system. What a
Yeah.
joke.
trying to sell vitamins.
Yeah. Okay. Let's check these guys out. Anguish Asylum Haunting. Okay. So. And I've got some sound thing too. I have to mute. So this would be an easy one to call up and let them know that, right? So Ruben could call these guys up and say, hey, we just noticed that you don't really have a lot of reviews for your haunted house. And unfortunately, your competitors have a bunch already. Nightmare on 13th already has like 40 reviews. Castle of Chaos has like 12. And say that's how people are making decisions on a lot of these is what people are saying about it. So you can sell them reputation management. Now, let's get back to what we were talking about with Castle of Chaos, right? Well, you could call up Castle of Chaos and say, hey, we noticed you don't have a mobile website and you're running a Groupon deal. Well, did you know that 30% of people are trying to view your Groupon deal through a mobile device? They're a bunch of college kids cruising around town looking for something fun to do. They're looking on their phones. They come to your website and it's not going to look good. They're not going to be able to integrate with you the way they want. So this would be a very easy sell for Ruben to call up and talk to them about a mobile website. So let me show you. I think I had a picture here. Let me pull this up here. So this is an example of mobile websites. Kind of what I mean by this. Can you guys see these? Okay, is this coming okay, Tim? It looks a little blurry on my screen, but. So you can see here.
Yeah, I can see it okay.
Okay.
It's just a little blurry, but I can see it. It's all right.
Okay. So you can see here, like, call us, come in, our work, our blog, right? The whole point here is you want to make it very easy for people to call, see your hours of operation. Like a mobile website, like this would be really good for you, Ruben. Here, like let me just walk you through this. So one of the complaints against the Castle of Chaos is they went there and they didn't know their hours, right? Well, that would be a very easy mobile website to create that has their information on there. So they could see their hours, operations, hey, we're closed today. Another thing that we do, and I'm getting kind of technical here, but we can create mobile websites so that they're an application, a mobile app, meaning that we give them a control panel that they can go and alter their mobile website. Because so a lot of times people want to have their own daily deals on their website, right? So we can let people log in and change stuff on their mobile website so that they can be like a daily deal. So Castle of Chaos could change their mobile website to say, hey, on Wednesdays we're doing a buy one, get one free for this Wednesday only. So people that were checking their Groupon or checking their mobile website could see that. So that becomes a really powerful sales tool, and I'm going to have to do another training on that.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I really like it because we can then, I'll tell you why it's powerful, is we can then charge them $80 to $150 a month to have a mobile website app. So that's a good sales tool for you to say, hey, instead of having just a stagnant mobile website, we can give you a control panel that lets you go in and change your mobile website. So you can put, a deal that, even the tattoo artist guy told me, hey, I want to be able to change my mobile website to have a deal on it. I want to change it as often as I want. And I said, yeah, I can do that for you. I can let that happen. So right there, that was pre-research. We really nailed that. That was that one was an easy one. Okay. So you can see how easy it is for Ruben to give these guys a call. Notice that their phone number wasn't on here, so he's going to have to go there and pull that off of their website.
So it looks like the best way would be to find one or two problems and then call them up
The
and be
new
the problem
Trilogy of
solver.
Terror 3.
Exactly. So that, yeah. So Tim just identified what the purpose of pre-research is, right? It's to identify what they're missing, what they're not doing well, and what we can offer them. So Castle of Chaos, they need a mobile website. They need help with reputation management, right? And then
Yeah.
also, like here's another way you can do this. So I'll show you this. So this is called SEM Rush, and I think I've explained this to some of you, but let me show you what it is. You can use this as a free tool. It'll only show you a certain amount of them. But you come here to scmrush.com, so this is a good one to write down, scmrush.com, and you will put in the company's website. And we can see this is pretty accurate. They refresh this every 2 or 3 months. So let's look at their reporting here. So Castle of Chaos, they rank for 71 keywords, organic ones. Castle of Chaos, they are position number 1. And I'm really impressed here. It looks, maybe this is because other areas do this, but they rank, and there's 1,600 people searching for Castle of Chaos. And haunted houses in Utah, they rank number 4. Their last position was 3.
And why would they do that when they have more searches?
Say that again?
They have 1,900. Why are they position 4?
So what this means is, let me show you what this means. So what this is showing us is for Castle of Chaos, it's showing us where they show up on Google. So when someone types in the keyword haunted houses in Utah, Castle of Chaos shows up as position 4. So they're the 4th website. And then this column here is the volume. There are 1,900 people a month that type in the keyword phrase haunted houses in Utah.
Okay.
You follow me, Tim?
Oh, yeah, I'm getting that. So it's not related to their website position. It's just how many people type that in, that particular
Yes.
term.
Yes, well, it's both, right? So there are 1,900 people that every month go to Google and type in haunted houses in Utah. Castle of Chaos, castleofchaos.com, they show as the 4th website on Google for haunted houses in Utah. So this is position. POS stands for position.
So there's a place called Haunted. No.
So what
Those
this
are
means
those
is,
are all
I'll show you-
search
I'll show
terms
you.
there on the left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is the keyword. That's what's throwing you off here. So let me show you. So the keyword, so when someone goes to Google, right, and they type in haunted houses in Utah,
Yeah.
right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see here. What were they? What did it show on here? Haunted houses in Utah. Said they they showed up as,
Okay.
Interesting here. Here's their Groupon deal, Castle of Chaos Groupon deal. So this is kind of accurate. I'm not even seeing them here, to be honest. Castle of Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if they come up here. Oh, here they are. Castle of Chaos. They're on page 3 of Google. So this is let me just explain this tool again, because this throws people off. SEMrush is a tool that indexes the internet for websites where they're ranking on Google. So it's accurate within unfortunately, it's only accurate within 2 or 3 months. It's not at 48 hours before active. So once again, what you use this tool for is to see where people are ranking on Google. So when someone goes to Google and types in haunted places in Utah, they show up as the 5th website. When someone types in haunted houses in Salt Lake City, they show up as the 2nd website. Utah haunted houses, they're the 11th website. Is that making sense now, Tim? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, so my point is that, see, they're doing okay. They're ranking for 71 keywords, right? But if we looked at some of these other guys, like the Anguish Asylum. Let's put these guys in. So we come up here and we go, you always want to put it in like this, www. their website name and then .com. You don't want any HTTP stuff. So organic keywords, let's view their full report. They only show up for 14. Notice this, results 1 out of 14. Asylum Haunted House, they're number 7. Provo Mall, they show up as number 20. Haunted Asylum, number 15. Haunted Houses in Utah County, they're number 8. So let me tell you how I would approach this, okay? Because this is another good one for you, Ruben, because you know about these guys. Is I would call them and say, hey, Asylum Haunted House, cool website, cool idea. I want to come check you guys out. I love these things. I was just over at Castle of Chaos, had a great time. I want to come check yours out. I help local businesses get seen online. And I just did a quick search on your website, and I noticed that your rankings are mostly on the second and third page of Google. And then I would tell them, hey, you're actually doing okay. For example, for haunted houses in Utah, you're the 8th website. And say, that's okay, but it would be much better if you were the 1st through 3rd website. And I noticed even for your own name, Asylum Haunted House, you're number 7. Okay, and there's around 720 people searching for your business. They need to be able to find you. So is that making sense, Ruben? I want, because this would be an easy one for you to call on for sure. You could call this Asylum Haunted House and go through their rankings with them, talk about their reputation management. They don't have a mobile website either. These guys are the easiest to talk to because they're a new business and they need help with this stuff. Okay, so all right. Yeah. So to answer your question, an 18 out of 30 ranking is not very good. You want to have like a 20 plus. You want your ratings to be good. Yeah. So that's how I do that, right? So let's go back to the list here and look at another one. So that's Castle of Chaos. Notice how we went off on a tangent. That's a good thing. As you do research about one business, you get more perfected around the ancillary businesses around it. So that's Castle of Chaos. Notice how they don't have a mobile website. You got their address here. So let's look at another one here. Boise Art Glass. You got one here you want to do, Tim? Massage, Aspen hair restoration. How's your hair, Tim?
I'm okay. I got hair.
You got hair? Okay. Plumbing and heating. Let's look at this guy here. Let's look at Scott Hale Plumbing and Heating. And he's in Draper, Utah. So let's take a look at this guy. So here he is. Here's his website. Pretty good looking website. What I do here is I put him directly into SEMrush. I'm showing you how I do this real quick. The idea is to do this research quick before you call them. And then I look at their organic keyword report. I view their full report, scotthale.com. He's ranking for 49 keywords. So plumber, Salt Lake City, very impressive. He is number 3. Very impressive. Salt Lake City plumbers, he is number 4. Drain cleaning Salt Lake City, he's number 1. Plumber, Salt Lake City, number 1. So I would first of all kind of commend him if I did talk to him, and I'd say, hey, you're doing a good job. Looks like you've got some pretty good rankings, some areas you could definitely do better with. Say one of the things you're missing out on, once again, is you don't have a mobile website. And this is really an easy way to get more traffic. Say, listen, you can imagine people are driving down the road. They get a call from one of their kids or someone at their house. Hey, we have a plumbing problem. We need help with this. Well, they're going to go to Google on their phones, type in plumber Salt Lake City, and if they click your website and it doesn't look, it's not easy to read. They don't have one button navigation, one button call. They can't see your hours of operation, pricing. They end up leaving you. So that would be my intro to him is, hey, you don't have a mobile website. The second thing I do is notice how his main keyword is plumber Salt Lake City. I go to Google, right? I know I'm going quick here, but this is the idea is you get quick at this. Is I type in plumber Salt Lake City and I want to see if he comes up. So he's scotthale.com. Let's see if he comes up on the first page for this. Nope.
No?
Yep.
So they lied.
Well, he didn't lie. I'm showing you his Google.
Scott Plumbing and
I'm showing you
Heating
his
right there.
Google. He comes up right here. Actually, Tim, to answer your question,
Okay.
here he is. So he is on the first page of Google.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it at first. Yeah, he's number 3, looks like.
Well,
They're right.
I didn't scroll down far enough. So what I want to show you here is he doesn't show up for the Google Places, is what I wanted to show you.
Yeah.
Notice
Yeah,
how he doesn't show up here? So let's do this. Let me show you how to do this. So Google will only show like 6 or 7 businesses here. Notice how they have only 6. We can go here and see more results near Salt Lake City, Utah. So let's click that and see where he shows up.
And you're looking at more places, not more
Yes.
Google
Excellent.
rank,
Yeah.
not more Google search results.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. We're looking at their Google.
Yeah.
We're looking at the Google. These are all Google Places right now.
Right. You're looking at more places.
Yeah. So let's see if we can find him. What was it? Scott Plumbing. Scott Hale. Here he is. Okay. So look at this guy. He's got a 16 out of 30. Right.
Ooh.
So he's probably not. Sometimes they're not aware of this, and usually they are. Look at this guy. Oh my gosh. Look. Horrible service.
Ooh. Goodbye.
So, but let me just tell you something. You will get these guys' attention, right? You will get these guys' attention when you show them this.
Oh,
he'll
it's probably his competitor that wrote that.
well, you hope not. I mean, that's pretty dirty, and So, and look, 2 people found this helpful. Well, let's see. Horrible service. We used Scott Hill last week. It was the first and last time we will do business. When making the appointment, I was informed that we would be the last appointment for the technician before I headed home. He arrived a couple hours early, plus got to work. At one point, we were informed that he would cut a few small holes. Blah blah. He agreed to come back and fix the job. I realized he charged an extra $50. Da 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 da. This is fantastic business. This could be so. This is really an eyesore for him. I can tell you this right now, because if I'm searching for plumbers and I read this, well, I mean, you tell me, Tim, are you going to give this guy a call?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Even though he has some
No.
good stuff. Both technicians were awesome. I appreciate the time. Phil solved it. Russ solved it. Avoid this company at all costs. They are dishonest and extremely unethical.
Wow.
Oh, right? So I would call this guy and I would say, listen, Scott, I'm sure that you have a good business and you have a lot of satisfied customers. Unfortunately, this is an eyesore, and this can make your online world a living hell. It really can for him. So what I explained to him is, listen, we have dealt with this before and we know how to solve this. The first thing that we do is we help you get a lot more reviews. It becomes crucial that you learn how to capture good reviews and get them on here, because this is going to hurt your business. So one thing that we can do is we create a special landing page, okay, on his website that allows people to leave reviews, and you give them an incentive to do it. So you'll give them like a $10 gift card to Chili's or something. And this way you can incentivize people to leave authentic, real reviews, right? You don't want to just come in here and game the system. That leads down an unethical pathway. So that's one way to help this guy for sure, is to do that. So I would want to call him right now and say, listen, you don't have a mobile website. You've got some really scathing reviews on here. You got to get some more reviews, and you could definitely be getting better rankings for some of these keywords. So you get the gist here, is that I want to give you as much ammunition. Let me just tell you an overarching thing for me as a salesperson and people that are listening to this. I want to give you as much confidence that you need to be talking to these people, right? So when this guy fights back at you and says, I don't need your help, I'm fine, you need to listen, Scott, you actually do, okay? You've gotten some pretty negative reviews here. You don't have a mobile website. You're doing a really good job, but there's just a few areas here that could really enhance your business and get you customers, right? I want you to feel confident that you need to be talking to this guy. And that's how this works for you. So anyway, so that's how I would go about it for him, is I would go through and look at his rankings. He's doing okay on some of these. He's doing very bad with his reputation management, and he doesn't have a mobile website. I call him up, and I want to talk to this guy. If I can't get a hold of him, so let's talk about calling a plumbing office, because they probably have a reception desk. So that's one way that you would call them up, is saying, hey, I noticed you're running a Groupon, and I was trying to pull it up on my mobile phone, and it didn't come up very good. It didn't come up. You don't have a mobile website. Is there somebody there I could talk to? I help people get mobile websites. Is there someone there that handles your websites? You could also try saying, hey, we noticed you didn't have a mobile website. We help local companies get those set up. I can give you one at no cost for 30 days. Who would I talk to about that? And they go, oh, we don't need that. No, thanks. Say, well, no, I understand that. One of the problems is you're having, difficulties with your reputation right now. I was looking at your Google reviews, and you have a lot of really, some pretty negative reviews on there. And one way to fix that is to get new positive ones, and we can show you how to help that. So the point here is just kind of get their attention with this stuff and go from there. Okay. So I think, is that enough examples? Do we need to do one more? Or is we all on the same page here?
That's good.
Okay. So look at those three things. Where are they ranking with SEMrush? Then take their main keyword for their location and search and find their Google Places and see if it's been set up or where it is. Because you could also point out to him that, hey, Scott, you're actually on page 3 or he was on, where was he? He was on page 3 of the Google Places. Yeah. So he was on page 3 for Google Places. You can point that out to him as well and say, hey, we need to get you to page 1. You need to come up on the first page of Google for your Google Places. And so we can actually help them with that as well. Let me explain this real quick because it gets technical. if they have, because Tim brought this up, there is what's called your organic listing, right? So you got your organic listings on Google, and then there's your Google Places position. We can actually point backlinks and help raise their listing here. So we can help them get to the first page of the Google Places. It's done similarly where we build backlinks to their Google Places page. Okay, and that will help them get more credibility and get raised up. And so you'd still charge them $35 an hour. So the way I price this out is I say, okay, we want to look at how many organic keywords you want to target. Okay, so if you say I want to target, Salt Lake City plumbers, Salt Lake City, then you would do that. The second thing is you would price out if they want to do reputation management. I usually will charge between $200 and $500 a month to do reputation management. One thing that we do is, and I'm going to have to do another training on this because it gets kind of detailed, but the reputation management, we build backlinks to their Google Places. We help them get their Google Plus page set up. We also create alerts. So you may have heard of Google Alerts. So anytime someone mentions their business or business name, it alerts us. Okay. So we do all those things on a month-to-month thing, and we manage their reputation for them, help them get new reviews, and do it that way. So this is the basic process that you should be going through is those three things. Search engine optimization for organic keywords. What is the status of their website and their mobile website, and then how can you help them with their Google Places and reputation management, okay? So that's all the pre-research stuff. Now, one quick sales tactic here, I was going through this with Tim before, is anytime someone hits you with a disagreement, I have this little acronym that I use, and it's called ART. You agree, respond, and transition. So anytime you have somebody come at you and has a complaint or an objection, that's how you come back at them, is you agree, respond, transition. So if they go, well, I already have a website guy, and you say, well, that's really good. It's important that you have someone that you trust. What we're focused on here is helping you with your mobile website. This is a new technology. Most web designers aren't familiar with it and how to make it work. In fact, we'd love to give you one at no cost for 30 days to test it out, So anytime they come at you, agree with them, respond, and transition out of it. Don't sit and try to problem solve. Like, oh, you have a website guy? Well, how much does he charge? Is he good? Let's look at his work. Don't make it about him. Okay? So that's basically what's happening here is you are getting a list of data. Like, here's all the storage units I just pulled. I'm going to give this list to Tim afterwards, and he's going to give some of these guys a call. These are all the people without mobile websites. So it's going to be really easy to go through, do a little research. The nice thing about calling the same types of businesses is you'll get the gist of it, and a lot of the information will be the same. Like the reason that I'm having him call these storage unit places is one of the people we had a lot of success here with is Highland Hideaway storage facility. And we took them, they're almost at like 95% capacity now from the search engine optimization we did for them. They now rank for all these keywords. They're getting conversion on their website. They've been beyond ecstatic with us because we've taken them almost to capacity with the results we've gotten them. So this will be an easy one for Tim to call and point out, hey, we've already done this for somebody. Here they are. Check them out. So lastly, let me just move into, that got a little longer than I wanted to, but hopefully that was helpful to see how I do pre-research and come at these guys with content. So let's talk about the account management stuff real quick, and then we'll end on the compensation and be done. So the account management team is the ones that are going to be handling these accounts. So the way that I sell this is, let's say I was talking to Castle of Chaos, and I said, well, let's do this. So let's say they're like, okay, Chris, I want a mobile website. You're right. I need help with some reputation. I say, well, let's do this. I need to set a time when you have 20 to 30 minutes to get on the phone with my account manager, and he is going to get your keywords set up. He's going to log into your website and change your meta tag information, and he's going to get Google Analytics installed on your website and get on the same page. Your account manager is the one that's going to be then talking to your content team and getting them going. So let's say they started with 20 hours. Okay, let's say they did a 20. Let's say Castle of Chaos says, okay, let's get this going. Let's start with, a $600 package. Let's do, around 20 hours a month. I go, okay, great. So your account management team, that's headed up by David. So you'll be setting appointments with David to begin with. So David's the one that he'll be calling them. He'll be creating their account. He'll be getting their billing information. He'll be the one getting with the content team, start doing all that. So really what you're doing here is telling them that, listen, we want to earn your trust. We're going to assign you an account manager, and that account manager is going to be calling you every month and going over the details with you. He's going to be looking at the results with you. So this should really help in your sales presentation, that anytime that they maybe don't trust you or you're trying to win them over, I always use this as a way to hook them with trust and say, hey, we're going to assign you an account manager. He's going to give you a call in the next 48 hours, and he's going to get things set up for you. We're going to get your keywords put in. We're going to get with our content team and have them start doing that. And that way, it takes the pressure off of you to have to be following up with them and making sure that they're happy with that. So is that, Ruben, Tim, is that making sense? You had asked me about that with the account managers.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So I kind of went over that quickly, but you were asking about that earlier, Tim. Yeah. So basically...
Yeah, I was asking if people can expect, you say, oh, we're going to start you with 20 hours a month, and that's $700, let's say. And so they're going to say, well, I'm going to get a $700 bill each month from you guys, and gee, am I going to have some kind of accountability on your part of what exactly you did? Maybe not exactly where all the backlinks are and blah, blah, but just how many hours Joe spent on it and how many hours Sally spent on it down at your company doing what did they do for me during those hours? Was it hour by hour accounting?
Yeah, so you what you just said there, I want you to use that as a selling tool. So the way I answer that is, listen, we're going to be doing 20 hours a month, and we're going to be looking at your Google Analytics at the end of each month, and we're going to be looking at your ranking report. So we're going to be looking at how far you've come. Like I said, so at the beginning, they're going to see that they're number 100 for Haunted Houses Salt Lake City. And the next month, they'll see that they jumped from number 100 to number 80. Okay? So this is this is a lot to go through here. Are we okay? Do we need to take a break, guys? Or are we feeling okay?
No, I'm cool.
Okay. You okay, Ruben? So if you need to pause this and take a break, people that are watching this on the... Okay. So let's just keep plowing along here. So I want to talk about managing expectations, because this is really what will make or break this whole thing. Because as sales guys, I want you to be paid. I want these guys to stay on for a year. And so a lot of this is going to be about how you manage their expectations. If they think that in 30 days they're suddenly going to be on the first page of Google, that's not going to be helpful. Okay? So what you need to help them understand is that this is, once again, a 3 to 6 month process. And in fact, once you start to see it working, it's pretty much a lifelong pursuit. You always want to be getting more and more keywords that you rank for. You know, if you start ranking for Salt Lake City haunted houses, why not rank for Ogden and Draper and Sandy and all these local cities, right? So it's really an endless thing. You can never do too much SEO. You can never do too much. So the way I explain this to them is this. When we have our content team start to write content for your website, right? So when we start doing backlink building, and I write a 500-word article about haunted houses, Salt Lake City, and I then post that article on another person's website, it can take up to 30 days, okay? It can take up to 30 days for those articles to get indexed. Now, let me just rehash that, okay? So they need to understand that in the first 30 days, almost nothing happens, because I can start day one and write an article, and it could be up to 30 days before Google even indexes it and finds it. So you have to help them understand that, listen, around the 60-day mark, 45 days to 60 days, that's when we start seeing these results kick in. Because what you don't want to have happen is if you sell them that this is going to solve all their problems in 30 days, and then you hand that over to the account manager, well, I can tell you right now, the account managers will not be happy with you, because in 30 days they're going to be upset saying, hey, I don't see any results. How come I didn't move? And what's going on here? So you really want them to understand that this is a slow and steady process, because that's how Google works. Google wants it to look natural and organic. And that's a really good sales point, so that they will calm down and understand that this is a 3 to 6 month commitment in their mind. So if they're like, well, listen, I can't afford that. I could maybe do $300 for 1 month. You honestly don't want to take them on as a client. It's really not worth it to you, because that's how you're going to make your money. Is you want long-term clients that stay 6 months to a year. So it's important that you manage their expectations, and that's really the best way I've found, is like some of these things take a while to kick in, and it's on purpose by Google. Okay, so managing expectations. And then, just as far as pricing goes, let me go through some quick pricing, and I need to put this all in a document and send this out. But $35 an hour for backlink building. If they need help with on-site optimization, I'll usually charge $300 to $500. Let me talk about this. So this is the classic setup fee, right? For those of you that have done sales, you always have some type of setup fee. And it's usually the amount of their first monthly spend. So if they want to spend $500 a month, you want to try to get a $500 setup as well. So I don't use the word setup, I use the word on-site optimization. So let me show you what I mean by that. So if we look here at Nightmare on 13th, let me show you this here. Now, can you guys see this okay? Is this coming up okay, Tim? I'm showing you a Page Analyst screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. This is what's called their meta keywords. Okay, and let me show you how I pull these up. I right click on their page and I hit view page source. And let me zoom in here. Okay. You notice here that their meta name description is what Google sees is describing their website. So this is something I go through with business owners. I say, okay, Google's looking at this and your description is Nightmare on 13th, the scariest place on earth. That's what their website description is. That could be tweaked a little bit. Then we come down here and let's see if we can find their meta name keywords.
I've heard one thing maybe a year ago or sooner than that lately, that the meta names, meta tags don't even mean anything anymore. Is that true?
So what Google looks at is the content on their website.
Right.
But this is one way to identify if people understand kind of what's going on. Because people will put these in here. It's very easy. This is kind of, let me tell you how I view this, Tim. This is the best way I can explain it. I explain to people that a website is like a brand new car. I love explaining it this way. I said, your website's like a brand new car. You can spend as much as you want on that car, but a car is going to need two things. One is a map, and two is gasoline. So I explain to them that really your meta name keywords are your map. So does it really matter that they come in here and put Haunted House Utah? Does that make any lick of difference to Google? Well, first of all, they're pulling their keyword density from their main content from their website, but this is just kind of an easy way to understand your map. So it means that we're actually going to go after Haunted House Utah and Salt Lake City Haunted House and then Halloween attraction, So that's kind of how I explain to people, listen, this is your map. We need to have an understanding of what we're trying to rank for because we're going to build backlinks to those keyword phrases is the key here. And then the gasoline in my example is the backlink building.
Now, what if their programmer has put in lousy meta name keywords, doesn't know what's going on, the wrong words are in there?
Yeah, so that's what I will point out to people. It's actually a sales point. I say, listen, it looks like your website guy's a good website guy, but most website people do not understand marketing. And so I'll point that out to them. I might look at your keywords, for example. You're trying to rank for national terms, It's like you're not going to show up for, best, So, yeah, so to answer your question, Tim, this can be a sales point for you to come in here and show them that, hey, you actually don't know what you're talking about.
It's just one more thing you can pull up like the other tools we talked about earlier. Have that in your quiver before you make the call.
Exactly. This is just another, that's a great way to put it. It's another arrow in your quiver. And so this guy, I could tell, knows what he's talking about, though. I can tell that, look, he's going for Haunted House, Utah, Salt Lake City Haunted House. But back to my earlier analogy, these keywords are kind of like saying you're good at something. It's like saying you're good at golf.
Like, so what?
Exactly. So what? You have to have that outside credibility, and then Google will recognize you. Once again, there are 571 websites. Google says, okay, another person claiming to be the best haunted house.
It's like a stated mission statement or goal. Here's what we want, but this is not what it is. It doesn't reflect on reality where your ranking is.
Sure, and so that's why I like the map and gasoline example, right? Your website is a car, and you need a map and gasoline. A map is worthless without gasoline in a car. You know what I mean? It's not going to get you anywhere. You can have the best map in the world and the best route, but unless you have gasoline. So that's why I like this analogy is, listen, once we obtain a ranking, once we reach a destination for a keyword, we pick a new keyword and we refuel. So that's what you need to explain to them, is that this is a month-to-month service that we are working on a month-to-month basis. So so they go, because people ask me, what happens in 3 months? I say, well, the objective here is once you get to the first page of Google, and more specifically the first through third spot of Google, we will pick a new keyword phrase and start targeting it. One of my favorite words to use is dilute. I use the word dilute all the time. I say, what happens is businesses end up diluting themselves because they target too much. They target too many keywords and they're too broad. The idea here is to be laser focused and just focus on a couple keywords, get yourself to the first page of Google, and then move on. Because what happens is, as people will ask you about this all the time, well, how does this thing get priced out? And you say, well, it depends on two things. So this is a good way to answer this. If people are like, well, how much does this cost and how does this get priced out? Well, the first indicator is how many keywords they want to target. The second thing is for how quickly they want to rank for these keywords. So if they want to rank for a lot of keywords and they want to do it really quickly, well, we're going to need a lot of hours. So generally how I do this is, in my mind, if it's a local business, I want to do between 10 and 30 hours. So that's roughly, $350 all the way up to almost $1,000. Okay. Now, in my experience, it's easy to sell big packages, and you just got to trust yourself and don't undervalue this, because you have to realize, I think I shared this example in another training, but I talked to a gentleman that does air filters. It was back east or something, and he did statewide air filters, and he was spending around $2,000 a month for services with AT&T and Yellow Pages, and he wasn't getting anything for that. It was kind of a joke. He's like, "What are you getting for that?" And he's like, "I don't know." So it was easy for me to take half that budget, $1,000, and start getting him some statewide results for air filters, and he's going to start seeing results with that. The thing that's powerful about this example is that he has a big budget, and I only took $1,000 of it. So I know he still has $1,000 that he can spend with me, or even more. So the idea is that we want to get a good relationship with these people at the beginning, really show them results, because we want to take more and more of their budget. So if you start them at even $300, it's okay, or $500, that's okay. The idea is after 3 months, we want to then come in and upsell them another $500 a month and say, hey, let's be a little more aggressive and go after some more keywords and do it for $1,000, But the biggest indicator is the better you are at educating people, the better you will become at closing people. It really is every time I do a good job educating someone, they end up wanting more hours, right? Because they realize, oh yeah, I do got to get to the first page of Google. I don't want to cut corners because it won't do me any good. Because people are like, well, someone told me they can do it for $150. And I like to explain to them, well, listen, this is all about man hours, right? Most companies charge, $50 to $150 an hour for the type of work that you're getting from us. We do it super cheap. We have one of the best rates in the industry. So when you tell me that they're going to be for $150, that's like 1 or 2 man hours of work a month. I don't know what anybody can get done for 1 to 2 man hours a month. So I'm kind of going live here on problem solving, and I need to do another training on this where I'll list all the concerns and I'll go through them all. But this is one sometimes I'll get is people are already spending money on this. And that's one way that I go through that with them is like, hey, let's look at your results. Let's put it into SEMrush. Let's actually look at your results. Because people will often say, well, I've already got a guy, or I'm already spending money on that. And say, oh, that's great. It's good that you've got someone and you're trying to figure this stuff out. Everything's a positive to me. I don't care what people tell me. It's always a positive. Oh, I already have somebody, or this didn't work, or oh, well, I'm glad I tried it.
People love compliments too. If there's a nasty, irritable person, the best way to diffuse them is to give them some type of sincere compliment as fast as you can.
Sincere compliment, and then just keeping the emotional level pretty equal.
They'll turn on a dime. You'll notice it. They'll be nice to you after you do that.
It's true, and so really, what my focus with this initial sales call here training is. Focus on the education, focus on the results, and if they see the power in it and they like it, then it's going to be easy to close them. Because if you get into too many sales tricks and all these things, it's probably because you didn't educate them well enough or show them the value of what you can do. So that's what I try to focus on. So going back to this, the whole point of this here was to explain that if you charge if you do a $20 package with them, you can tell them there's a one-time setup fee of $300. I always try to get at least $300. I say, listen, there's a setup cost because we have to train our content team. We have to do some keyword research. We've got to go in and change your meta tags, and we've got to fix some things on your website. So that's what I call it an on-site optimization. It's a one-time on-site optimization of $300. Okay. So lastly, let me just go through quickly because I think I went through it with you guys, but let's just talk about how I want to pay you guys out. So I really want people closing deals, and that's where the most of money is going to be made. So let me zoom in. Is this too small on your guys' screen?
No.
I'm trying to see I don't know how to zoom in on Excel. Here it is. Okay, Ruben, you can see it. Okay, so here is what I want to see happen, right? Now, let me just tell you straight up, right? I do have positions for people that are listening to this. And if you feel like you're not good at sales, then I do have an appointment setting thing, but you're not going to get paid as much because that's just the nature of it. Basically, the appointment setting payout looks like this. You get $10 per presentation. So if you set an appointment and a presentation is given, you get $10. And then you get 10% of the first month's close. So if the first month was a $1,500 package, then you'd get $150 commission on that. And that's it. So I know there's some people that want to do appointment setting that don't want to deal with all this sales stuff. And in the beginning, I know sometimes people might do some appointment stuff for the first 2 or 3 weeks. But, that's fine. But getting you to the point of closing the deal is where we want you to get you to. So let's just walk through this. So the idea here is that you're getting paid 20 to 30% of the monthly reoccurring. Okay? So if you sell... I think I went through this with everybody, but let me just go through it real quickly. In my mind, right, I have no idea what people's capabilities are. I really don't. I have no idea. My best month was $33,000 in sales, and $12,000 of that was reoccurring. Okay, so that's my numbers. Now, I don't expect people to be able to do that right off the bat. What I would like a goal to be is to be able to do one deal a week in the beginning. Basically, doing 5 deals. A month, right? Now, you can change your mind. Let's say that you do $1,000 reoccurring deals, right? Especially if we're focusing on some of these like dentists, doctors' offices, those types of business. They should easily be spending $1,000 a month. I could change it to 500 if you want to see those numbers, but so if you do, you can see how it works, right? If you do, let's say you sell 2 deals and you're doing $2,000 a month in reoccurring, you're going to get 20%. That means you're making $400 a month, right? 20%, it starts to incrementally go up. Now, once you hit $10,000 a month, right? Let's say you hit $10,000 a month, you're getting 22%. That means you're making $2,200, and that's a month. And that's what I like about this. I've talked to Tim and Ruben about this and other people. Is that's what makes this so exciting. Is you go to all this effort and sell someone. Well, you're going to get paid out on that as long as they stay. Okay, so it caps out at 30%, $30,000. And we may change this down the road.
Now, I got a question on that. As long as they stay, I know the management team takes over right from the start, and they do all the setup, and you just kind of pass the baton. But from month to month, as they're doing their monthly evaluations, Dave will do that, or do we actually call them up and say, "Hey, John, how's it going?"
No, that's completely optional, and you don't need to do that. It's probably wise to keep a relationship with them because in 3 to 6 months, you're going to want to call them and upsell them.
I mean, I'd call them, take them out to lunch once a month if they're going to give me $200 for that.
Sure. Well, what I'm saying is that it's not required, but yeah, it would be to your advantage to keep these guys on board because as long as they're happy and they're feeling good, so you will not be required to do the monthly account management call. That's what our account managers do. They'll go over their reporting and all that stuff and resolve their concerns. But you should definitely keep rapport with them. Hey, how's everything going? You feel good about this?
A 30-second call once a month is not going to kill you.
Sure. You want to be careful because I've had people kill deals because they call them and try to upsell or they bug people. Or let's say you call them and you don't know how to resolve their concerns and they get upset. Like, hey, I was supposed to get this done. And, so you're just going to want to feel that out. Sometimes it's better just to kind of check out.
Okay. You don't want to walk right into it, do you?
Sure. It just depends on, you don't want to call them because if they think that you're calling them to like help them and fix things like, hey, this didn't get fixed or hey, I need help with my mobile website. You should be fine. If you have rapport with them, I wouldn't worry about it. But my conclusion on it is, yes, I would keep a relationship with them because one is you want referrals from them and 2, you want to upsell them 3 to 6 months later.
You can always shoot them an email too and say, "Hey, how's it going?" So you don't have to take their ear on the phone if they've got a bunch of stuff.
Sure.
You don't have to answer right away. If
I would probably not call them within the first 30 days. Because nothing's going to happen and it might fester the situation. But for sure, at that 2-month mark, if they've stuck around, that means they're probably happy. They're getting some results they want. They're starting to see it, and definitely keep that relationship with them. So the most lucrative side of this is really getting to 30,000. So you can see it however you want. If you did $1,000 reoccurring, that's 30 deals. If you average $500 reoccurring deals, then that's 60 deals. So here's how I look at it, right? Let's say that you get good at this and you can do 5 deals a month, right? Well, the idea here would be at then December, you'd be doing 120 deals, and that would be 18,000 in reoccurring commission for you. That's at 500.
December?
Well, so here's how I did this. So obviously the math is math, and who knows, it is what it is. But if you do 5 deals a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you do that consistently for one full year, that means you would do 120 deals.
Well, this thing you've got charts going several years. You see that? It's It's going 38 is January and 49 is December.
January, February, March, April. Right. So
1 year's at 60 right there.
okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So yeah, okay, you're right. So 60. Yeah, let me look at this. Why is this? Maybe this is not working then. This is my spreadsheet here. 60. Okay, let's look at this. So, can you see my little calculator?
Yep.
At $30,000 in SEO sales, you would be getting 30%. So that's $9,000.
Yeah, that's the good part.
Yeah, that's what I'm focused on, right? I'm looking for people. I know that not everyone will be able to do this, and it's up and down. It can be hard. There's going to be some grinding involved. You got to call. But the idea is to get to 30,000 and then maintain it, because there is a shelf life to these clients, which is 6 months to a year, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to, like, even if you do get to $30,000, it's not going to just be like you can just go move to the Bahamas and think that that's going to stay. So you really, in my mind, I'm looking for people that can get to 30,000 and maintain it. So if someone cancels out after 6 months to a year, you replace it. Mm-hmm. And you just maintain that $30,000.
Yeah.
So that's basically what the objective here is to do. It's hard to do the math on here because some people can stay a year. So some people will only stay 3 months. So it's hard to know how long these people are going to stay. We've had clients stay 2 or 3 years. And those are you get more and more of their budget. The thing that I like about this is that you can go back and upsell them new services. Like we're working on stuff all the time. To be able to go upsell them, stuff like that. So basically what happens is when you get these sheets, right? So this is the one I'm going to give Tim right after this. And he's going to be calling these storage unit people, right? Well, we want to take notes on these guys. We want to know, okay, why did they say no? What was their concern? Okay, they didn't want it. That way we can follow up with these people and know what's going on. And then we'll have a shared spreadsheet on your email account where you can go in and schedule times with the account management team, so you can schedule appointments, right? And then you can track kind of who you talked to and who you didn't go. Good organization is really what helps a salesperson the most, right? Being able to know who to talk to, follow up with them. A lot of this is going to be follow-up because you're going to talk to Ector Space Storage, and the receptionist is going to say, oh, well, you need to talk to Jake, and he's only here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So then Tuesday, you got to call back to Jake and say, hey, Jake, notice you don't have a mobile website. Oh, well, I got to talk to the owner, Bill. This is something we've looked at. How much is that? And then you got to get on a conference call with Bill, and then he's like, oh, okay, yeah, I do want to do this, and this does look good. You sound like a nice guy. Okay, let's do it. So you have to understand that you're going to be running down these people, and it's probably going to take 2 or 3 weeks to close some of these. Now, I've done one and dones. Like I was just telling these guys about it before. The Houston tattoo guy I called a couple weeks ago took me like 25 minutes to get his credit card and bill him. He wanted it. He knew about this stuff. He had heard about it and wanted it. So it was easy. Now, I love using people against this. So Tim, this is a heads up for you on this one. About of the 200 people I polled, about 100 of them had mobile websites.
Wow.
So this is a pretty savvy industry. Like these storage guys know what's up. Like they're trying to definitely take every advantage possible. So I like pointing that out. I'm like, listen, you can tell them that. I polled there's about 200 storage facility places in the greater Utah Valley, and about half of those have mobile websites. The other half don't. And we noticed you didn't have one, and it's a really easy way to get new business and just keep up with the times. So that's kind of what we're going to be going for. And then obviously what I think will happen in the beginning here is take these people as far as you can. Let's say you get a hold of Bill and he's the storage owner, and he's like, well, I still don't know about this. You say, well, let me do this. Let me have Chris give you a call and I can come in and help. I'm happy to help you guys do it, close them out. But if it turns into more of like you're just a setter, then that's what the setter pay is $10 a presentation and 10% for the first month close. So we'll have to figure that out. But if you feel like you just want to maybe do some presentations and then have me close them, then that's what kind of the payout will be. And maybe that'll go on for the first couple of weeks while you're getting the hang of things. But the point here is don't lose a deal. Let's at least get a deal and have you making some kind of money. You don't have to, be Superman and close them right at the beginning. But anyway, so Ruben, guys, any last questions here that I didn't cover? I mean, I know that was a little long there, but...
We'll have all the tools we need for closing in terms of credit card acquisition and
Yeah.
numbers
Well-
to refer them to for other account management.
Sure, and that'll be just an appointment setting thing. So Ruben's saying he's a little confused about the on-site optimization. Let me just show it to you one time here. So on-site optimization, think of it this way. When we get a new website, yes. So Ruben's asking me, is on-site optimization on top of their monthly fee? Yes. So let's say that they say they want to do 20 hours of monthly SEO, right, at $35 an hour. Well, they also need to have a setup fee. You don't have to, you can waive it, and it can be whatever you want, but that's a one-time fee between, $100 and $500. And what we're doing for that is we're doing their on-site optimization, we're getting their meta tags set up, like I was showing you here, like their meta keywords and their meta description. We'll go in and tweak all of those. We'll get Google Analytics set up, get them in the system, get the content team prepped and ready for their new account. And that's just kind of like a cherry on top, just a little bit of extra cash for setup stuff. And you get paid out 30% flat on those. So that's when you were looking at the compensation package, the setup fee. If there's any kind of setup, then you get 30% on that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty standard issue for any type of company. And if people push you on that, it's fine. You don't want to worry about it. But I get a setup fee every time I do it. I just tell them, yeah, it's $300. It's an on-site optimization. We got to go in and get your keywords set up. We got to, get your account management team prepped, your content team prepped. We got to get Google Analytics on there. There's some time that goes into setting up a new account and getting that in there. Yeah. So yeah, I can send this out to you, Ruben. He wants to see a copy of this. So yeah, so we'll go into that more, but in the beginning, focus on selling search engine optimization. If you can't get them for an on-site optimization, don't worry about that. Now, on a mobile website, you can charge anywhere from $500 to $5,000. If it just when it comes to websites, let me just give you some quick pricing. If it's a regular old website, I charge $1,600. If it's an e-commerce website, I charge $3,500. If it's e-commerce anything, we're very careful because those are very difficult to set up. So $1,600 for a regular website, $3,500 for a e-commerce website. And then on a mobile website, right, $500 is for a basic stagnant one. If it's an e-commerce one, those are more like $1,000 to $1,500.
Those are for the setups.
Yeah, that's to get the mobile website set up. So let's say you give someone a free mobile website for 30 days, and then they go, well, how much is it at the end? Say, well, it depends on what you want. We have to take a look at that and give you a quote, but usually people spend between $500 and $1,000 to get a custom mobile website done for them, Because there's all sorts of like free services that you can get a free one, but it's just some code converter and they don't look very good. So people are like, well, I heard I can get one of these for like $50. And they go, yeah, we can get you one of those. Those are just like free converter ones. They don't look very good. They're not custom. They just take your website and kind of throw it into a format. Say, we're talking about doing an actual custom website. And if they want further information, tell them, and I like telling people this, it takes between 3 and 5 programming hours to do their mobile website. So when they're like, what do you mean give me a free mobile website for 30 days? Say, well, we have one of our programmers. It takes him 3 to 5 hours, and he will actually do your mobile website for free for you. And you can have that for 30 days. If you decide you want to keep it, all we ask is you pay us a fair market price for that. Because sometimes people ask you about that, like, well, what about this free mobile website thing?
Okay, so you control the hosting on that, obviously.
So just to answer that question, we will actually host those mobile websites on our server. It won't be hosted. They won't have control of those.
No way.
Yeah.
We'll just take it and run then.
Yeah, well, and they probably still could. They could probably do something with it, but I'm not worried about that. And then I really like selling these control panel, the cPanel option.
Oh,
where
yeah.
you can use their
Yeah.
mobile website as an app, and that you can charge whatever you want. Like I'll give you some pricing, but I'm trying to charge $80 is what I tell people, $79, and they get access to a cPanel that they can then edit there. That includes the hosting and then the cPanel where the control panel where they can go in and change that.
Cool.
So we'll do another training on this. Let's conclude this. This has been kind of long here, so thanks for sticking in, everybody. The idea here is mostly to give you some education tools. Let's get you a list of data, start calling these guys, and kind of get thrown in the deep end, and you'll learn how to swim.
Okay.
So let me stop this here.